Those two and a few others gave you an opportunity to let you see everybody else. And, I asked them, 95 the other night, 91 tonight, against two totally different teams. Is this team getting into, a routine in terms of, hey, we put points on the board, no matter what you're throwing at us defensively, we're gonna, show you that we're capable.
Well, I was asked at some point what surprised us so far this year, a couple of, maybe at the radio show the other night, and I thought about it after it because I don't think I answered it right. And but if I were to go back and say what has surprised me about this team so far this year, it was that we weren't shooting the ball very well in the non-conference. Like, I thought we had better shooters, our numbers and our statistics and our three-point percentage, and it didn't look that good. People got off to bumpy starts, and so I think what you've seen in the last two games is I think the trend is that we're better shooters than initially we did the first month of the season. We're getting more comfortable with what we do and where our shots come from, and I think we're a pretty good shooting team and can certainly create some problems for opponents to figure out how to guard us because we have so many weapons. So I hope it's a thing that we can continue to do. I hope it's not just a two game scoring 90 points. So I've always said I thought we've left points out on the court in a number of ball games that we've played in the non-conference. So this is a great start for us to start putting those points and maximizing the opportunities that we have.
Well, I think, when Lager Walker starts to get her shot where it is, to me that's going to be a huge bunch. But you've got, I'm going down this top 8. I was telling the girls, it's got to be such a comfort zone for those top 8 when any combinations in there, at least of those top 8, they know exactly what the other person's doing and where they're supposed to be. And it really, you can tell that they're in a comfort zone.
Yeah, I think the starters for sure are, and I think Katie Longwell does a great job as our point guard who can come in for multiple positions and for the most part is as much a starter as anybody else. But I think you're right. Besides Katie coming off the bench, my big thing and what I thought this team needed was, can we get some scoring punch from someone else every single time? And now the emergence of a Danny Noble who's has that capability. Mandy Carrico, she has offensive punch capability if we can get her, a little bit more comfortable with the ball and not taking as many chances sometimes with the ball. But and then that's just, two shooters. Obviously, if you can bring Kirsten off the bench and the fact that she can shoot the ball and the three so well. So it gives our team a tremendous amount of confidence of not just the starters, but now I think that we can sub and keep some momentum and keep some pressure on defense.
What are you saying at halftime? Again tonight, they come out in the second half and it's like, ball game's over. What was that run, Ryan?
I think it was 20-1. 20-1.
Crazy. I say two nights in a row like that.
Yeah, I just think our starters.
Major adjustments or just?
No, we really challenged them. I thought giving up 32 points against Portland State was too many points, given I think it was 32.
Mm-hmm.
And, we just said that means they're going to have 64 at the end of it. And again, I just think it says a lot about our starters. They went out in that first segment and did a tremendous job, and it was 20-1. And when we subbed at that point and we said at the timeout, we said, okay, if you let them score more than 1 point, you're in trouble. And they went out and scored on an out-of-bounds play for 2 points. So we can't keep that momentum up. Obviously, 20-1 is a tremendous run, but and Portland State bounced back and they threw some pressure at us that again, our subs aren't quite comfortable breaking the press and scoring on the back end of that, and they had some nice plays that happened. So they almost got to that 64 number that we were trying to keep them off of, but I think it's much more of a statement that our team responds to the challenge of, let's fix this, let's shore this up, and the starters really did a nice job of that in the second half.
The test, no matter what conference, what level, is to go on the road. I think when you go on the road, it answers whether you're mediocre, whether you're worth a damn, whether you're not, or you're less than average. I think that answers a lot of things. And you've been on the road with this bunch, but now you're going on the road in conference, and it's a little bit different type situation there. And I don't know, maybe players feel a little more pressure because it's conference. What are you looking for from this bunch now that they're going on the road in conference?
Well, I just have a lot of confidence in our players right now, and again, in our leadership on our team more than anything. And it's not just the upperclassmen, Katie and Kiwi and Savannah Scott. It's not just those. It's Savannah Smith and Courtney Smith and the entire starters for sure. They just seem so solid as far as competitively and how they approach things and how they eat and how they take care of themselves and how they really are looking at themselves like they're kind of pros. They want to be pros. They want to look at this thing and build on it and not mess it up. And so they're taking care of themselves in a lot of ways. And when you have that kind of leadership from so many, it teaches the younger ones how they should behave and how they should prepare and how they should, mainly just be on the road. And so to us, I think the team loves being on the road. I think the team loves being together. They eat great. They eat better.
The volleyball team said that too. They absolutely love going on the road.
Yeah, and I mean the hard part that you have is the travel. Someone else is sleeping in their own bed, and you have to work to get to places.
Yeah, everybody's got.
Everybody's.
Do that.
It goes both ways, and the hard part is you're just not used to their rims, or their basketballs are a little bit different, but it's still those are things that if you're looking at something to nitpick, that's what you probably don't shoot as well on the road as you do at home. But, this team is built pretty good, and I think we don't have to depend on one person to score all our points. We can, and now it becomes if we want to separate ourselves, and we keep talking about that. One team or a couple of teams are going to separate themselves from everybody else, and the one that does is going to be someone that can go on the road and win games and be the tougher team when you go on the road. And, we're fortunate enough to start the conference here at home. We got 2 wins, and now we got to go on the road and enjoy that. And I keep looking back we've finished the conference season really hard. We've got those 3 road games in a row before you go to Reno. So it's important in how we play this first month of conference play, and I'm looking forward to the challenge of going on the road in these first 2 games.
Getting back to this bunch in terms of how things flow, I think what I'm noticing here, and you may have a reason for it, this bunch doesn't get down on themselves. Like if somebody comes down and has 2 bad possessions, they don't let it carry over like I think most teams do, and like some of them have in the past. They're kind of past that little hill that most players go through. Is there something that you do or tell them that you can't carry a mistake into your next possession?
I just think that is such that's a great point, and it's a maturity thing. Like that's what good teams do. Bad things are going to happen to us.
It's like golf.
Sure.
Let it go.
Yeah. They don't hit 72 perfect shots, do they?
No.
Or 65.
No.
So, how you respond in between those events is really the team that is successful. Something happens to you, that is inevitable. How you respond, and that's what this team is just. They're just a tough group, and they're competitive, and I think they have more belief in themselves and more belief in this team. And I keep saying that word. We're built well. We're built to take some punches and still and be okay, and have different players that can step up and help us, and not everything falls on 1 or 2 players. So, but that quality, if I could make sure we have that quality, that's what I want. That quality of you handle adversity and you don't blink and you get back up and you attack something that just hit you. And if we can keep that up and keep growing that, then I think this team has a chance to be pretty good.